do we create a test case, like log into the, users log in, then put it as a shared step just in case we are going to need it, or we can copy that from the test case we've already this test case we have already written and designed, and put it as a shared step. Then when we need to go to the other side of customer, the user want to change the password, then we now go through the steps the way you did it, or how? I mean, I don't understand how it really works. That's my first question.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. So how it works is that, how share step works is that, so long as it doesn't matter if the scenarios are the same, okay, so long as the step that you take, okay, to get to write that step case are similar, all right? So you create share step for it. Let's say you've written a step, a test case that have a particular step, okay, in the past, and then let's say in a different sprint, and it has moved, okay, to done, okay. So in that part, the same sprint, or even in a different sprint, right? So you are not writing a test case, okay, that has similar step, okay, from the one you have done before. That's why I use the login, because most of the things you do, most of them you need to log in to do. Let's say you want to perform a transaction where you want to buy something, and that for you to buy, you are writing a test case where you need to log in and purchase a course, for example, okay? So, and you have done login before, all right, in the past. Let's say you're sprint 1 and it's still there, okay, you've done it before. Instead of writing a new one where you say, okay, I want to log in and then purchase a course and pay for it, okay, you will now go to the one you've done before, which is the login, create a share step there, okay, then come to the new one you want to do, which has similar step, and then start it. Then continue from where you go, from where that stops. All right. So now, most often you have your negative scenarios and positive scenarios. Okay. So now it requires, and sometimes you need to use different data. You need to use negative. You need to, test for positive. So when you are doing that, it requires that you will kind of repeat that similar steps over and over again. So instead of repeating it over and over again, what you do is you create a share step for it. Always call it in whenever you are doing that, writing the same scenario, and then you can now continue from that where that stopped. Is
Okay.
that clear?
Yeah. I think where I'm having issue is that that share step, is it that because, I could see that you are trying to type it all by yourself. Can we open the test case we've already written, copy it, then gives it as you said we should press Ctrl A, or for the share step, or are we going to write another one newly? You just type in, or we are going back to the test case we've already written, then copy it, turn it to share case, or how does that work? That's what I'm having issue with, please.
So I will go back to the slide, all right, and demonstrate it so you see how it's been done. Okay, so let's say, let me put it on the precision mode. Okay, so now, so this is a step we've created before. Okay, can you say giving user navigate to this, when user login and user click on a drop down menu? So I didn't go through this particular one because I wanted to demonstrate it live. Okay, so now we've created this particular one, all right, this particular step, these 3 steps or 4 steps, all right. Okay, so we'll have it before. Then when we want to create a different story, a different test case that shares this similar step, all right, so instead of writing it all over again, we can now come here and create this shared step. Okay, select this 4 step that we want to use that is similar to a new one that we want to write. Okay, you select it and create a shared step for it. Then go to the new one you want to write and then insert it there. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Then that step to step, step 1 to, I think step 1 to 7. Is it possible to, to list them, all at the same time in order to take a screenshot of them, so that in order to practice it later? Or, though I know we cannot practice it now because we've not been writing a test case because we're in Sprint 0, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, the recording will be made available.
Okay.
For you. You can, play it and you will get what it's all about. So it's okay if you are a bit confused now, because most often, even when I started, I was like, why do I need to create shared step when I can write it over and over again? But you find out that when you start testing, let's say you are in the industry and you are writing, your job is to write test case, and you are expected to write a lot of test cases in a day. So you realize that it's sort of, you won't be able to repeat all those steps when you are trying to, you won't be able to meet up to the demand when you are trying to write all the step cases. So it's better you use the shared step. When you use the shared step, it helps minimize some of the steps.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I have Daniela. Yeah, your hand is up. Feel free to unmute and ask your question. So if your hand is up, be patient. I will call you one after the other. Daniela, are you there? Daniela. Daniel, okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you're calling my name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Daniran. Yeah, Daniran. Please go ahead. Ask your question.
Just because as you are demonstrating the thing on the screen, I was also trying to because I just downloaded it from the access I was given. I just want to see from the initial start, how does the screen look like? What you showed us, you some pages will only demonstrate. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, from the beginning, I think some pages were already demonstrated on your screen. So I just want to see how does it look like from the beginning. Is it possible to see how it looks? Because whether it's kind of it's in conformity with what I have on my screen here, please. Is it possible?
So do you want me to go back to the slide?
Yeah, I want to see how it actually looks like from the beginning. I mean, from the if I may use the word virgin page at the beginning of the Azure DevOps product.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether I have the right thing or I'm not.
So for your own, okay, you've just done the onboarding. Okay, I'm not sure if the BAs has written any stories.
No, I'm a QA.
Yeah. The BAs will write the story where they got from the business, from the people. Okay, that story will go through approval from the PO. During your sprint planning. Okay, that will be analyzed by both the BAs, the developers, and the SM, which is the Scrum Master, will facilitate that meeting. for the
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
So
sorry.
once that is done,
Yeah.
okay, it will be moved to in dev, where the developers will start working on it. Okay, so from there, it's now you will now start creating your test case when it's there. Okay, so yours won't look like mine because mine a lot of work has been going on it, so you wouldn't look like yours. Okay, but so let's say in sprint, when you get to sprint 1 and stories started coming in, and it will now look like exactly what you've seen on there. Okay, so but I will urge you to go back and look at the video, watch the video every again. You will understand how it looks like.
Thank you very much. It's getting more interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Olamide.
Thank you. Thank you for the lecture. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Thank you, Bonaventure.
Is that Olamide?
Yeah, that's Olamide.
We're down there. Okay.
But I can hear another voice coming underneath.
Bonaventure, can you mute your call? Can you mute your call?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, this is Olamide. Thanks so much for the lecture, Bonaventure. My question is, the first student asked about the fact that these look like test cases, and of course I don't want to be to appear too confused, because of course it looks like almost the same thing, like a test case. But in this case, I would like to know at what point will anyone be required to use Azure DevOps, and at what point, as in when trying to test from one step to one step, it's like we are having this information in pieces. Maybe if you can help us to have the idea when to bring it all together. So at what point will a tester utilize Azure DevOps? Then now it also looks like a test case. Is it possible to copy and paste if peradventure you have anyone that actually look the same, or the language you use when doing Azure DevOps is different from what you use when writing a test case? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay, please, I can hear a lot of background noise. If you are not talking, please, can you be mute, please? If you are not talking, so that we can hear who is asking question, and they can also hear us when we are, giving answers.
Thank you. Should I come again, please?
I think
so someone has his name as
not coming from
please.
Samsung.
Please, can you mute yourself? QA, can you mute yourself? Okay, Samsung. I don't know whose name is Samsung. Can you be muted, please? I can mute you, but it's always good to know that you should mute yourself. All right. So now, Olamide, I would answer your question. Okay. So for Azure DevOps, that's what you'll be using to write your test and execute your manual testing. Okay. So from sprint 1, you are still in sprint 0 now. So from sprint 1, you will start writing your test case. Okay. Yeah. So some of the stories that might be going into sprint, depending on what tasks you'll be given, okay, might not require shared step, but over time, you will be, carrying out tests and writing test cases for more, I don't want to say complicated, but for a step that has a longer, for test cases that has longer test step. Okay, so when you are writing that test step, you will find out that you'll be testing different scenarios. Okay, and when you are testing different scenarios, sometimes your scenarios might be up to 8, 9, 10. Okay, so and some of them will have similar steps. Okay, so yeah, you can't say, okay, I want to copy and paste, But when you go to the industry and you're doing copy and paste, and your test lead will look at you and will be like, do you know that Azure DevOps has this functionality of a shared step? And you will say, yeah, I know, but I don't like using it. So they will look at you as someone who is not experienced enough. Okay. So, but don't panic if you didn't get it very well now. But trust me, when you start writing it, always refer to this video. Once that you start writing those test steps or test cases that require very long test step, and you are writing for different scenarios that has similar steps, you will appreciate shared step and you will use it more often. So, but for now, it might be a bit confusing, but just trust me, you will get it.
And probably because we're still not seeing the similarities in those steps so far.
The similarity in that step is that first, when you want to log in, okay, you have your navigator URL. Okay, so let's use something that is everyone is quite familiar with. Okay, so let's use something like Facebook. We all have Facebook account. Okay, we all go to Facebook. Let's say you want to go to Facebook, okay, to upload your or to view picture, and you also want to go to Facebook. So the first scenario is I want to go to Facebook to upload a picture on Facebook, okay? And the second scenario is I want to go to Facebook to view picture. Do you get my point now? So the first one, you need to go to navigate to Facebook, right? And in the second scenario, you are going to view picture. You will also need to navigate to Facebook, right? So let's say when you get to Facebook, you need to put your email address and password. And on the second scenario, you also need to put your email address and password. The first scenario, you need to click on login or sign in, as the case may be. And the second one, you also need to. Can you see that there are two different things you're going to Facebook to do, but you are following the same step? You get that,
Yes.
Right? So that is the similar step I'm talking about. They are similar in both steps, but you're actually going there to do different things. So that is where the step share step now comes in. So now you have gone through that you've gone through that steps, okay, the first time, and you're going for the second time when you are going to view. Instead of repeating that step, okay, I go to Facebook and I put my email address and I put my password and I click on enter login, okay? Instead of repeating that step, you will now come to the first step, copy that step, okay, in form of using shared step. Go to the second one and then continue from where they insert it and then continue from where that one stopped. I'm not sure if that makes sense now.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah, so that is how it is. When you are testing a particular site, a particular website, okay, even when you are testing different functionalities or different features, then some of them will have similar step. Okay, so once you have that similar step, utilize this share step functionality. And quite a number of test management tools has got this share step. Not all of them, but some of them that are widely used in the industry has got this shared step. And yeah, when you are using it, your QA lead will, or your test manager will, know that yeah, you're not new in the industry. You're using it. And not everyone used it. Not everyone knows how to use it, but it will be a plus if you know how to use it this early. Okay. So whose name Abdul Gaffer?
Okay, thank you, Namajo. Please,
Yep.
I want you to please shed light on the the scenario when we need to use test case using Excel and test case using Azure DevOps. Maybe the just to differentiate when the situation when we need to use the two, or we can use them alternatively.
So the Excel one, most industries don't use Excel now. There are quite a few number of industries that use Excel. Excel is practically doing it manually. So that is where Azure DevOps has come in. We'll have TestRay, we'll have we'll have Zafire. Those are test management tools, okay, that you can use to write your test case and execute your manual testing. Okay, so now for the purpose of your training, you'll be using Azure. You'll be using Azure DevOps. Okay, that is what we use. Okay, so you will be taught how to use Excel, but you won't be using it. So, but you can use Excel for your own personal learning, just to practice how to write those test cases. But I trust me, most industry don't use Excel. Like I said, quite a few number of them still use it. But once you've known how to use it on Excel, okay, you understand the steps, you understand what the Gherkin language, if the company is using it. So you understand how to write the expected results and the actual result, all that. So you will be fine. Just follow the how to do it, and then yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have actually been taught yesterday by Ola, so I just want to. So it's like it's updated in
no, it's which one the industry is using. So, but they are all the same basically.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I have shown. Okay, I have is it Sean? Sorry, Sean.
It's Sean, you're right.
Is it Sean or Sean?
Yes.
Sean. Oh, okay. Okay, please go ahead and ask your question.
Actually, thank you very much for the lectures. I actually followed a prompt to set up the Azure DevOps, and which I did. So while you were giving a lecture, I tried to do the same thing you were doing, but I discovered that it told me I've just been given a stakeholder permission or something. So I want to ask, is it that we won't be able to use the application for now?
So as you know, this is the sprint 0. So a lot of configuration is still ongoing on your board. Okay. So some level of some different people are given different access. So at the moment, depending on how far your SM has gone, maybe they haven't given you the right access, but by the time sprint 1, you come to the end of sprint 0 and sprint 1 comes on, so you must have had all the access that you need, and your board will start looking exactly like mine when stories start going in there. Okay, so just be patient. A lot of configuration is still ongoing, and everything will start coming together. One thing I want to assure you is, I want to advise you is, ensure that you watch this video over and over again, especially when you start writing your test case. Then if you follow the same step, you will get to where I am, and you'll be able to do your shared step successfully. All right. Is that clear, Sean?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, so I will go to some question on the chart. So Anselm say, can I use this platform to practice with my classmates on this winter training? So you will be given access to Azure DevOps. Stories will come in. Okay. So you would have the opportunity to write as much test cases as you can. You can write up to 20 scenarios if you can. So if you want to practice more, because you don't want to go into your Azure DevOps and mess the whole thing and move the tickets around. But once you're working on a particular PBI, feel free to write as many test cases as you can. So you can also practice on your Excel. They are all the same, so long as you get the concept and you try to give any test, any PBI that you're working on you give it 100% coverage. You can as well learn with your classmates, to be honest. You can, practice with them, practice writing those test cases. So you can. All right. That is for Anselm. So I have Dora say, I'm confused. I believe I will catch up with time. Yes. To be honest, I wouldn't expect you to, get everything now 100% because you haven't written any test case on Azure DevOps. So when I'm talking of Azure DevOps and how to create tests, it's expected that you might be confused which one is creating tests, which one is running tests and all that. But not to worry. Go back, watch the video over and over again. You will understand and your confusion will be cleared. So JF say, can I please demonstrate it as nothing is displayed at the moment? So can I please demonstrate it as nothing is displayed at the moment? So yeah, I demonstrated it over again. I'm not sure what you mean if I can.
Oh, sorry about that. When you were explaining to the other guy, I noticed that you were not sharing your screen, so I was it was asking some questions. So I was suggesting that can you demonstrate while you are explaining to him? Yeah.
Okay, so I was using what is it called? The Facebook tool, because everyone is quite familiar with Facebook. So I was using Facebook to, demonstrate what I mean by similar step. Right? Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one is Akinola. Says, is Azure a manual testing tool or automation testing tool? So Azure is everything in one, to be honest. Okay, depending on how your board is configured, so is everything in one. But at the moment, you will be using Azure for manual testing. Okay, but trust me, Azure, you can use it for both automation. You can use it to set you can use it to set your CI/CD pipeline, but those are high level. So those are Azure has got this repository. What is it called? Repository, where you store your codes and all that. So you will get to all that. It's high level. Yeah. So the next one says iPhone to iPhone. I'm not sure what your name is. As a QA, is it okay? Is it only test case we design on Azure? So Azure, for the purpose of this training, you will use Azure to design your test case for you as a QA, but the whole of the team will be using Azure, both the SM, the BA, even the product owner, the dev. So, but as a QA, you will be designing your test case and then running your manual, executing your manual test on Azure. Reporting it as well is just mainly for collaboration. You raise bugs on it, track it, the bug triage and all those things. So Azure give a kind of visibility to everything you're doing. The whole team sees it, and yeah. So that is it for the question I have on chat. Is there anyone else? Sean, do you have any other question, or is your hand still up? Okay, any other question? Okay, so if there's no other question, I have a couple of questions, just a few of them, basically, for us all. Okay, so we'll look into it. It's just a Q&A. So yeah, the first one is a share step quiz. So maybe by answering this quiz, you might understand and clear your doubt if you are still having any. So the first one, say, why do we use shared step? Does anyone want to attempt that?
Minimize the creation of
I
steps.
think it will minimize the creation of
just to
steps.
minimize the creation of steps.
The first option to minimize creation of.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's that. Okay, so sorry about that. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes. So yeah, you know, this is the beauty of you know, this quiz, because some of us were a bit confused. They don't know, you know, they were asking why do we need to use share step? But as you can see, a good number of you have said that, yeah, we use it to create to minimize the creation of steps. So it's not duplicate your step. You don't use it to duplicate your step. Rather, you use it to minimize duplication of step, which is minimizing the creation of step. So I intentionally use put these hide steps, because when you see some of us, when we created that, you see that some of the steps disappeared, or you don't use it to hide step. You actually use it to minimize the creation of steps. So the second one says, oh, sorry. So the second question says, which of the icon do you click on to create shared step?
Option 1.
Option 2.
Okay, yeah, good. Keep your answer coming in. We'll
option
have
1. Option 1.
Option
okay.
2.
Okay. It seems we are having 50-50 on this. Two people have said option 1. Okay, now 3 people going for option 1, 2 option 2.
Option 3.
Option 2.
Oh, okay, option 3. We have one person. 3.
Option
Okay.
3, yeah.
Okay.
Option 2.
Okay.
Option 1.
Option 3. Give me.
For sharing is 2.
Okay, this is for creating and not for sharing. So this is for creating. I mean question number 2. So
Option 3.
Okay. Anyone else want to try?
Yeah, it's option 2.
Okay. Anyone else?
Option 1.
Option 1.
Option
Okay.
1.
Yeah. So I think the vast majority is going with option 1. So how you will identify which one?
The answer is option 2.
Option 2.
Option 2.
Option 1.
We use option 1.
Option 2.
Okay. So okay, yeah. So it's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing that we'll have a lot of people has got divided opinion on this. Some are saying option 1, some are saying option 2, some are saying option 3. So, but it is actually option 1. So a lot of you got it. So option 1, this is where you have plus on it. Okay. So the one you have plus is the right answer. So we'll click on it. So option 1. Okay, so we'll go to question number 3. So which says, which of the icon do you use? Do you click to insert shared option? Shared step, sorry.
That is option 2. It's confusing. Option 2.
Okay.
So that's option 3.
Option 3.
Option 2.
Option 3 to insert.
Okay.
Option 2 to insert.
Does anyone want to go with option 3 again? Okay. So the right answer is option 2. Okay. So this one says share to insert shared step is option 2. Okay, so but not to worry, when you are on it and you hover around it, it will show you exactly what it's used for. So the last question says, what does the run query do? So I have two options on there. What does run query do?
To find the steps you want.
Find the steps you want to insert.
Okay. Do we not use it to create and then start insert step? How about this option? No, we don't. That's correct. We don't. We don't use it. This is what we use. So it's actually to find the step you want to insert, and that is correct. So let's see how we have performed. Let's see if we've got answers right. I've completed. Let's view results. Okay. So, okay. 1 second. Yes. So yeah, as you can see, we have them. The point is 100%. That's correct. So I can see 2 people raising their hands. Yeah. So let's look at those that are raising their hand and take their question quickly. So so if you're raising your hand, yeah. So if you're raising your hand,
I have a question. Sorry for taking you back.
Okay,
can we use the Azure Dev to practice? If we can set it up ourselves, or we have to wait for the Scrum team to set it up?
Yeah, at the moment, the Scrum team are working on on the configuration of your Azure DevOps. Okay. So yeah, I believe they've given you all the access to get on there.
No, I've not been given access.
Okay, you will be given access. That is what Sprint Zero is all about, getting all this environment all set up. Okay, so you will be given access to it. Yeah, you can practice on there, but trust me, from Sprint 1, stories will start going into Sprint, and you start writing your test case and carrying out your both automation and manual testing. Okay, so you would even we'll see how you go about it, but you will have a lot of stories to write, test case, and then execute the manual testing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
For the practice section, am I going to have my own dashboard, or I can practice with the team's dashboard?
So you have a team's one. Okay?
Yeah.
So you can practice with the questions, so long as you're not doing anything that will, break or confuse or move stories around. So long as it's writing test case, write test case, practice with what stories that has gone into Sprint that you're writing on. Okay, make loads of research, write up to 20, 30, if you can, test case and execute them. Okay, that's all right, that's acceptable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next person is Ola Oluwa. Ola Oluwa, please. Your question.
In writing a test plan on Azure DevOps, are we to use the Gherkin syntax always? Like, is that the main thing for us to be using anytime you are writing a test plan on Azure DevOps?
Yes. So yeah, apparently we will use the Gherkin language, Gherkin syntax. Okay. We'll use the Gherkin syntax now, which is given when then. So it makes it easier. One of the reasons why we use the Gherkin language, or the syntax, Gherkin language is what it's called. So Gherkin language has its syntax, which is given when then. So the reason why we use it is because it makes it easier to understand. So stakeholders who are not quite technical can come in and understand what you are writing, and it's considered the user. So you're writing the test case as if you are the user. So you are putting the user into consideration. So it is widely used now in every industry. In fact, some of the industry that weren't writing it before are now adopting the Gherkin syntax to write their test case and execute their manual testing. And you will also use it for your automation as well. That is where we'll have the BDD. The BDD comes in. But all this will be clear to you as you progress. with your internship. Is that okay? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very clear. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Bola.
Oh, thank you very much for the presentation. I want to go back to the Jenkins language again. Is there any similarity between that of the BAs and the QAs? Because I know the BAs they do use that Jenkins language as well. Is it same like the one you just did now? I saw just two, when and then.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same Jenkins language that we all use. It's the same. Okay.
Right, thank you.
So I have they say some Adedayo said, "Hi Bonaventure, would you still be able to take us through the share step again while on the project?" So basically the video will be shared. Okay, I will be in some of the group, but I am in QA community. So if you have any issue, I'm always available to jump in and help. Just ping me. Yeah, and then I'm there to help. Okay, so yeah. So any other question, any other concern? Okay, in the absence of any other question, I think here is the time we'll draw the line and call it a night. Okay, is that all right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. And good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good night.